Great. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call our neighborhood commission meeting to order. This is Monday, February 26th at 6 p.m. I'd like to start with a roll call of commissioners.
Mahealani Bernal, John Ching, Bill Clark, James Logue, Stephen Melendrez, Richard Oshiro,
Present.
Patrick Smith, present. Claire Tamamoto. Is here.
Clear, yeah.
And that's it. So right now you have 4.
Okay, we don't have quorum yet. We have 4 members, so we need 1 more member to reach quorum. I'd like to start with rules of speaking. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to raise his or her hand, and when recognized by the chair, to address comments to the chair. Speakers are to keep their comments under 2 minutes. Public testimony taken on each agenda item. Please silence all electronic devices. Okay, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is public concerns. Are there any public concerns this evening?
Kevin Line.
I see one hand, Kevin Lai. You can speak.
Thank you and good evening, commissioners. I don't want to belabor much here, but was just hoping to ask a question about who would be the proper public-facing representative with knowledge about how things are displayed on the neighborhood commission website and specifically the subsites for each of the neighborhood boards. I just had some questions about how the information could be optimized on how it's being shared with the constituents.
Sounds like you.
You can let us know what it is, and we'll direct that to Lloyd, our executive secretary.
Okay, I mean, in general, the list of questions was about when and if the data would become keyword searchable and how some of the descriptions of the sections, such as the NCO draft minutes and board approved minutes, could be optimized so they're more accurate and could be potentially less confusing to constituents who are accessing the website.
Just a question, Kevin. What you said when the minutes would become accurate?
No, sorry, to become keyword searchable so that
Right.
users could search through without having to look at each individual page. I guess it draws to the broader question of, when this has been brought up in the past, we've been told, oh, there's going to be a revamp of the website and the system's going to change. I'm not sure if it's changed yet or when it might change.
No, we were just having that discussion today about our website and it has not changed yet. We are waiting impatiently. Yeah, I will, let me talk to my guys and basically you're wondering about keyword searchable on the minutes. I should be able to get back to you pretty quick on that.
Well, do you know what it takes to do that?
No idea, but
So I take it we won't be able to get to that point until you find out whether it's doable. We're not given the current situation, the system that we have.
yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say anything that I, don't have enough knowledge of to say a lot. But yeah, we will certainly look into it.
So basically the answer is, at this point, we don't know if we'll be able to do that, but Lloyd will pursue that to see find out whether it might or might not be doable. That's fair enough in terms of what response to the
Yeah.
question.
Kevin, I'll get back to you next week. I'll get back to you, well, maybe even by the end of this week.
Thank you.
I'll see if I can get you something. Okay.
Can you let us know too? So we're.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are there any additional public concerns? If not, we still don't have quorum, so we cannot move on moving of our minutes. So like to move on to the next item, Executive Secretary's report, Lloyd.
Yeah,
Richard,
just,
Richard?
Oh.
Richard?
Larry, you had a
Did,
question?
Yeah, did you call me? I'm sorry, I was having trouble with my mute and volume button, so,
We got you. Thank you.
okay, all right, thanks.
okay. Thank you, Chair. Just for a while, we've talked about, the neighborhood plan review and the process. We're at a point where it's actually interesting for us in the sense that the plan was based on a pre-COVID time. And with COVID, a lot of different things have happened in terms of the meetings. We now have hybrid meetings and we've never had that before. It's not even addressed in the plan. So there's a lot of things that we would like to look at and probably propose for some changes. So as far as the process actually just starts with the commission and the commission needing to appoint a committee. You already have a neighborhood plan committee, but it also will include some members or a few members from the neighborhood boards and also myself, the executive secretary. So what I basically would like or propose at this point is if the neighborhood commission plan committee can just meet and come up with some names that they would like to offer to the full commission, I think that'd be a great starting point. We will also, be part of that discussion. And the whole point is that once we get the names and then at least we can go forward and the commission can approve the whole committee, and then we can start having meetings. My vision for the meetings is not to start right off with what changes we want, but I think we should just have a discussion on what we want the plan to do in the long run. And that may take a meeting or two, but I think it will be a great discussion. And after that, then we can get down to the brass tacks and looking at the individual pieces of the plan that we would like to change, or large portions of the plan that we'd like to change. It is an interesting process because it requires 2 public hearings. And we will, obviously, the NCO will work on scheduling and getting the locations and so on, and make sure everything is posted. There's also, I believe, at some point, we need to put something into a island-wide newspaper. And that will cost a little bit of money, but we'll take care of that. But basically, we'll take the lead in terms of logistics, where the meeting places are, when, and the notes and whatever else we need for that. So, but I just would like to start, and the start begins with, if Patrick, if you could just have a meeting and then we can go from there.
Lloyd, one suggestion I have, it seems to have worked with what they did on the survey. Having these committee meetings like on Mondays, similar to when the NCO meets.
Right.
That pretty much ensures that you don't have any conflicts with
Right.
neighborhood board meetings.
Well, the other thing that I think we will entertain, we'll look at is, it doesn't have to be at night. It doesn't have to be during a weekday. It can be any day we choose. It can be at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday. And I would assume, at least for the initial meetings, it won't be a long meeting. There's not a whole lot of discussion. Basically, we just need to get the committee together. Yeah, so we can hold it at 2:00 on any time, and we could have this as the location. We could have our office as a physical.
With that, it's like, some of us do work. So sometimes that may be a problem.
Right.
Not everybody is retired, totally free within your office hours. So I think you have to take that into consideration.
Well, this is our work, so,
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm
but yeah,
saying.
no, I agree. So we'll find a time. I mean, the point of it all is that it doesn't have to be at 6:00. It can be at 4:30. Yeah, it can be at 5:00. I mean, we have a lot of flexibility, so.
People still work to get 4:30. But anyway,
Anyway,
you get the idea.
Well, yeah, and again, the key is to get that first meeting off the ground so we can at least try and have an idea of who would be on this committee, and then go from there. And once the committee is set up, then it'll be a lot more formal.
One of the good things already with the committee as it stands with the commissioners is that we have at least 3 of the 5 serving on neighborhood boards now. So I think that's also very helpful.
Yes. Yes. So, with that, we'll work with Patrick. We'll see when we can schedule a time and then we'll go from there.
Well, I think we can poll the current members of the committee and just ask when a convenient time.
Right, right.
So we can go from, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the other attachment I had in the packet was basically what's in the rule, what's in the neighborhood plan. So it's just that section that covers how we go about it. But again, it is a fairly long process because it does take into consideration 2 public hearings, and they have to be at least 30 days apart. So, we're looking 2 months minimum. But the point is, we need to just start.
I would comment, I've done projects like this before and they always take a lot longer. So, I mean, yeah, to even say 2 months is,
Yeah,
but.
and the reason I'm proposing it now because I know, yeah, it says 30 days and it's like, yes,
Really, the difficult part, I think, with David Brand is really the beginning, and once they start working to soliciting any proposals that want to submit proposals to make amendments, then once you finalize all of that, it goes to the commission. Once you get to that point, then it's the hearing process is pretty much, it takes care of itself already, because it's a month's time to finish two hearings. That doesn't take much, time. You just know you gotta space them out.
Right.
Other than that,
Right.
the work is really prior to that.
right.
That's the combination. Public hearings are a combination process.
Okay. Anyway, that's my report.
Okay, any questions for Lloyd? Seeing none, thank you. Next item on our agenda is new business. It relates to the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board. They sent a letter to the commission requesting to make their seats at large. I take it the current seats that are vacant
Yes.
until the next election. Did everybody get a chance to review the letter we received from the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board? It was from the Chair, Roberta Mayor. So again, they asked that they want to temporarily change the vacant subdistrict seats in subdistrict 3 and 9 to at-large seats for the remainder of the current 2023 to 2025 term. And they say they feel that there are volunteers in the community that may be willing to serve, fill those vacancies if it's made that large.
Right. Maybe I can give a little background. We've had this problem or this issue with other boards and I know the commission has been very gracious in extending to the boards that yes, the change is acceptable. Again, and I think part of the challenge is that it's sub-districts and the sub-districts have a limited amount of people. And if you don't have people that are willing to serve or want to serve, then you just don't have people to take that position. So I think going at large is a great thing because it just opens it up for the whole community. And at the same time, as we all know, it doesn't matter if you are in a sub-district or not, your responsibility is to represent the entire district. So, I think this is a natural request and we've done before. And I realize that you can't vote on it tonight because we don't have a quorum. Nobody else showed up? Nope. Oh, bummer. But I think what I would ask at this point, and we can talk about it maybe I don't know if we can talk about it, but for something like this, I think we can just call an emergency meeting and just do it virtually. Make this a location and just say, we got one item on our agenda. This is it, just to approve this, and maybe we could do it during lunch.
I'm sorry, Claire.
Claire, do you have a question?
No, I just had a comment. we just recently did this with the Aya Neighborhood Board. I think they had 3 seats and they needed to, they asked to have them, open up to at-large seats, for the remainder of the term. There was a little, and I'm sorry, I didn't see it in the White Kai letter. There's a little confusion, because they then recently, and we agreed to this, and so we let them they were able to fill the 3 seats with at-large seats. But recently they just lost another board member that was in a sub-district. And, they did fill it, but there was some, debate about whether what we had approved was any at-large seats for the rest of the terms, for the rest of the term of office. So they said, no, they only approved it for those 3 seats. Now, is White Kai saying, let's say down the line, if they get another seat that's open somewhere else, are they asking us to make that an at-large seat also? Like, I think we should ask for some clarification to make sure that, they don't have to come back to us again if they don't want to. If they want to, they can, and then we'll just make a ruling or decision based on the 2 seats they're asking for now. But if their intention is to, let's say down the line, a month or 2 later, or even toward the ending of the terms, they have another seat that opens up and they want to fill it with an at-large seat, do they have to come back to us again, or are they asking for a blanket? Any seats going forward for the rest of this term of office can be at-large seats.
Claire, I'll answer that at this point. I think we'll have to go based on what they say in their letter in terms of the limitations that they impose, meaning that they just have sub-districts 3 and 9. I don't know what the other, the rest of the seats are on that board, but just looking at the letter, if we take any action right now without any further clarification, it's just as they ask, not going beyond that. I understand what you're saying, it could change in the future, but if it does, if we were to follow what they're asking in the letter, then they'd have to come back to the commission.
Well,
But we won't be able to take any action tonight unless people tune in a little later, but otherwise, if we don't take action tonight, that might be a worthwhile question to raise with the chair.
yeah, if we're unable to take action tonight, I would ask them to clarify that, thinking down the line, kind of thing. And depending on what they would want, I would be in favor of moving that we accept their request.
Can I see it?
What?
According to the letter, they would like this change to be only for the remainder of the current term. So it's the 2023 to 2025. And after that, it will revert back to its original sub-district.
Right.
But it's only for this term.
Yeah, it's unlike the White Power request where we said,
Right.
make them all at large. Those that are in sub-districts now will leave it.
Right,
If there are future vacancy, then they'll be at large. And
Right.
in the next election, it's all at.
right.
Yeah, so I don't think it maybe occurred to them that maybe they could possibly make any seat that comes open for the remainder of the term, if they would like us to blanket that, or if they want us to just, limit us just to those 2 sub-districts.
Yeah, I don't think the intent was anything beyond these 2 seats.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I see one hand up. Do you have a comment or question, Mr. Lai?
Thank you, Chair. I was just curious with the talk of sub-districts. I know there's reference in the neighborhood plan that the neighborhood commission or the office will maintain maps of sub-districts, but are those available online or
Yes.
elsewhere?
I believe the maps are available online. If there are any questions about a particular street or address someone lives at, then they can contact the commission's office to get clarification.
There's the boundaries.
But there is a boundaries map on the.
Yeah.
on-
Okay,
I just have a general question. At-large seats. It seems like quite a few boards have like sub-districts that are never filled, like Kankakee Neighborhood Board, we have one. Is it necessary to have sub-districts? Can't they just all be at large? And if so, is that something that we look at for the neighborhood plan to change?
Yeah. Yes.
And Claire has her hand up.
Claire, you have another?
Yeah,
question?
regarding that comment, when I heard the discussion at the IA neighborhood board about the opening up of the at-large seats, prior to this, IA only had one at-large seat and all the rest were in sub-districts. There were people that, definitely felt that there was a need to keep the sub-districts because they represent that particular area. So, although they may have responsibility for the entire, the entire, whatever matters come before the entire board, they have a special interest or special need to want to represent their viewpoint from just that one district. So it did hit some,
It's just trying to.
resistance. Yeah. Oh, you got another member signed in, guys.
We do, so we have quorum now. As soon as Commissioner Melendres gets in, but we'll continue with our agenda and move to our committee reports. After that, we can go back to any unfinished items that we didn't complete because lack of quorum. That includes our minutes and this issue relating to Hawaii Neighborhood Board. Okay, is there any report from the Elections Committee, Claire?
No report.
Survey Committee, Stephen, you have a report?
Yes, we finished our discussion on it last month, and we're ready to take comments from the members of the survey committee. Today, we don't have any. So we have another meeting, I believe, that is scheduled for next week. And one final walkthrough, we want to present it next month if you put it on the agenda for approval.
Stephen, did the meeting notice go out?
I believe Dylan sent it out some weeks ago.
Did it go out?
I
When
Actually,
is-
is Dylan, did you send it out from our last discussion?
Yeah, Dylan's not at this meeting right now.
Oh, I'm so
Um,
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see it, so I don't know if it went out.
I don't know. We're gonna have to check.
Okay, that can be checked. We don't know if it was sent out or not. Anything else, Stephen?
No, we're good.
Okay, Neighborhood Plan Committee,
Well, as we discussed earlier, I'll get together with Lloyd and we'll come up with, probably poll the members online to ask about a meeting date. We'll have it organized a meeting sometime before the next NCO meeting. That's it.
okay, thank you. Any questions? Now, what we're gonna do now, since we have quorum with the appearance of Commissioner Melendres, we need to go back to approval of minutes. We can do that. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Mhm.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
I second.
Any further discussion? Are there any objections to the minutes? If not, I take it that we all are in agreement to approve the minutes as circulated.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Minutes are approved as circulated. I'll just take a second, 2 seconds to go back to the item that we were discussing earlier. And that was the request from the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board. Everybody should have seen the letter that we received from Roberta Mayer, who's the chairman of the committee. They wanted to make 2 of their sub-districts at large for the remainder of the 23-25 term so that they can get those vacancies filled. They believe that by making them at large, it will give them a better chance at filling those vacancies. So do we have any further discussion? I know Claire had some questions about it, but if we're to just decide based on what we have before us, that's what's before us in terms of the letter from the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board. Is there any further discussion?
It makes sense to me because we've also suggested that with other boards in the past. and I would support it.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that the commission approve making sub-district 1, or sorry, sub-district 3 and sub-district 9 of neighborhood board number 1 at large for this term,
For the remainder.
for the remainder of this term.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded by James. I heard him first, so accept his second. So any further discussion? Any objections?
No,
Okay, we have a unanimous vote. If we can let White
We'll let them
Pine
know.
Neighborhood Board know that we approve their request. And I would just advise them that if, they want to make any further changes to let us know, but we just decided based on what they requested. So we didn't go any further than that. Okay, moving on to announcements. The next meeting, the commission will be on March 25th at 6 p.m. here at Kapalama Hollow. Are there any other announcements? The commission will meet in an adjudicatory session after we adjourn the Sunshine Law meeting. So please stick around for that. If not, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
thank you.